Welcome to another ceramics video, and today we're making a bowl. And it's a smaller bowl than it was supposed to be, but it's still a bowl. Right here I'm wedging, and what wedging is it's consistently folding the clay on top of itself to push all the air bubbles out. If you have too many air bubbles, it weakens the clay and it makes it more difficult to throw on the wheel. Right here I'm cutting through the clay to make sure I don't have any air bubbles. I'm shaping the clay into a ball to prevent air bubbles from being trapped in between the bat and the clay. If you have air bubbles trapped in between, it's going to increase the chances of cracking in the kiln. Now we're moving on to coning. Coning is essentially the process of pulling the clay up and down consistently, and what it does is it gets rid of any air bubbles that I might have missed when I was wedging, and it will also make the clay easier and it'll make it more elastic for throwing. The more you cone, the softer and easier your clay is going to be to work with. If you're making a really wide vessel, you want the puck to be kind of thinner and wider, and if you're making a really tall one, you want it to be less wide and taller. I'm pushing all of my weight into the clay. The more stable that I am, and the more center the puck is, the easier it's going to be to throw. Now we are opening. This is the very start of any pot. You're just digging a little hole in the middle of the puck and bringing the clay out towards the edges. Super easy. Now right here, I am checking the thickness of the bottom. If it's too thick, it's going to crack because the pot is going to dry unevenly, and if it's too thin, it's just more fragile. Now I am compressing the bottom with my thumbs. The reason you need to compress it is because the more you compress the bottom, the less chance you have of the pot cracking. Now I'm finally getting into pulling the walls. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm squeezing the clay in between my outside hand and my inside hand, and that forces the clay as it spins around to go up. I kind of think about clay as you sacrifice thickness for height. You can either have height or you can have thickness, but you can't have both. This is where we start making mistakes. I essentially have pulled the top third of the pot walls way too thin. What it does is, as I'm trying to keep pulling, it puts torque on the bowl, and that torque essentially warps the wall. So what I'm trying to do now is just cut off the top, and as you can see, I was not very successful. Now at this stage, I'm just thinking, should I just scrap this entire bowl? But no, I decided we'll just make whatever I can. That was a fail. I tried to take off more height, and you can even hear me. I tried to take off more height, and it just fell onto it. Now I'm in the final touches of making this bowl. You can see there is a little bit of wobble, but considering all that has been through, we'll put that aside. This is tap centering. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm just hitting the bowl as soon as it goes closer to my hand, and it pushes it into the center. The more center that I can have the bowl, the easier it is going to be for me to trip. This was a day later because you want the clay to dry to what's called leather hard. It's basically not fully dry, but it's also not wet. This is perfect so that it holds its shape. You want to stay extremely still because the more still you are, the more round the bottom's going to be. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I have other ceramics videos just like this, and I also have videos of me flying airplanes and playing guitar. And if you feel as though my videos bring value to you and that I have earned your subscription, I would be much appreciated if you subscribed and liked the video. Thank you.